What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about 20 lessons that I learned in the year of 2020. I feel like I learned way more than 20 lessons over the course of the year. It was an insane year, but I decided that I would just make a list of 20, the first 20 that came to mind, and make a video about it because they were the first ones that came to my mind. They're probably the most important. So without further ado, subscribe if you're new and let's get into it. So I have the list on my phone, so if you see me looking down, it's because I didn't memorize this list. So the first thing on the list is you cannot be a good mom, friend, wife, etc. if you don't take care of yourself. I learned this the hard way for sure. I had Archer in January of last year. He actually turns 1 next week, which is crazy, but he was only about 2 months old when the pandemic started and when we went into quarantine. So it was a bit of a whirlwind for me as my first year as a parent. Found it very, very hard to take time to care for myself. I'm one of those people that I don't like to ask for help, and I just wanted to be able to do it all. And then I found myself snapping at people, getting really frustrated when I couldn't put him down for a nap, just being really mom ragey all the time on top of my postpartum depression and anxiety. And it was just chaos, but I wasn't letting anybody help me, and I wasn't doing anything to take care of myself because, one, when you have a newborn, if you're a mom or a dad, it's just you don't necessarily get to take time for yourself, especially if you don't have family and friends coming over because you're quarantined because of a pandemic. You kind of just have to be a parent 24/7 no matter what. And of course I love that. I'm so grateful to be a mom, but I just was not taking any time to care for myself, and it ended up kind of rubbing off on everyone around me. I was just being rude or easily snappy, or I wasn't eating enough, so I was hangry. And I really learned the hard way that you have to take care of yourself or else you cannot take care of other people. I am a much better mom and wife when I'm happy and I'm taking care of myself. So if that means Kale gets home from work and I go and take 15 minutes to sit in the bedroom and look at my phone or eat a snack or take a shower, then that's super necessary. So do not be afraid to take time for yourself, because if you don't care for yourself, it's gonna catch up to you and you're not gonna be able to be a good friend, wife, and mother, etc., which is what you're probably trying to do, and you're not taking the time for yourself because you just want to be perfect and do all the other things. But it's so important to take time for yourself and care for yourself and admit when you need a little bit of help, because that's when you can be the best version of yourself. My second lesson is to treat your relationship like it's a baby. I feel like it is so common these days for people to be like, oh, you bicker like an old married couple. It's a thing to be unhappy in your marriage. When you're married for a long time, you kind of just you're just comfortable and that's just the way it is, and things are boring and things are, I don't know, it's just normal to not have to try when you're married. And I think when people say marriage is work, they think that that's a bad thing. But Caleb and I learned a lot over the course of 2020 that we have to treat our relationship like it's just as important as taking care of Archer. We have to nurture it. We have to, I don't like to say work at it. I don't like to say marriage is work, but I would say it's effort. It's doing the little things. It's doing what you need to do to keep things exciting and make sure your partner knows that you love them, and make sure that you see them and you care for them. And it's not just comfortable all the time, come home from work, sit on the couch, stare at your phones, don't talk to each other, and move about your day because you know that you're married, so you're fine. That being married and taking care of our relationship is just as important as taking care of Archer. And at the end of the day, Archer's gonna grow up and he's gonna go have his own family, and then it's gonna be just Caleb and I, and that's it. So you need to take care of your relationship all the way through, or else in 18 years, 25 years, whenever Archer moves out and moves on and goes on to his own life, what are Caleb and I left with if we didn't take care of our relationship during those years too? So definitely learned our relationship is just as important as a baby, and you have to care for it and nurture it and put in the effort every single day. Along with that, number 3 is the small moments of love and kindness matter the most. So Caleb and I have started leaving each other notes, surprise notes, maybe in his lunch pail or in his coffee, or he'll put a sticker on the mirror, or he'll have my coffee ready to go when I get up, or just little stuff like that. I'll put a snack in his lunch or whatever. It's just finding those little moments. Those are the things that matter, and those are the things that keep things happy and exciting and let people in your life know that you care. It's not about giving gifts or anything like that. It's just putting in the effort of the small moments to find happiness in everything every single day. And I think that's actually number 4. You have to find a way to create happiness in the little things. If you're always waiting for the big trip or the big purchase or the next job or your dream home or whatever, you're never going to be happy because you're always waiting for something bigger. You need to find happiness in your morning coffee, find happiness in your kiss goodnight, find happiness in literally anything. Getting dressed in the morning if you're excited to put on a new outfit, just doing something fun. You have to find happiness in all of those little things, even like seeing the sunrise on your drive to work. Like if you don't find the happiness in those little moments, then your life is probably not going to be that happy, because you're always waiting for the next big thing, which may or may not come. So try to every single day find something to be happy about, to be grateful for. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm so excited for my cup of coffee. I love my cup of coffee in the morning. I'm so excited when I go into Archer's room to get him and he's standing in his crib and he kicks his feet and he's so excited that I'm coming in and I'm coming to get him and it's a new day. So like finding happiness in all of those little things every single day is super important. You can't wait for the next big thing, because you're always going to be waiting for happiness that may or may not come. Number 5 is to unfollow anyone on social media that leaves you feeling jealous or unhappy about your life, and to set limits on your social media. So I think unfollowing people, there's like a weird connotation that it's like rude, or like if nobody's trying to make you feel, well, most people aren't trying to make you feel bad about your life, but if that's how you're taking it, if you're seeing somebody who looks like you want to look, or travels places you want to travel, or has a family and you don't have quite a family yet, and it makes you sad, that don't follow those people on Instagram. You have no obligation to follow people or to explain to people why you no longer follow them. Social media is very detrimental to a lot of people's mental health. It's definitely detrimental to mine, which is also where the set limit comes in. I actually set a time limit on my phone. If you go to screen time, if you have an iPhone, you can set limits for certain apps. So I actually have all of my social media apps set to turn off at 6 p.m. and they don't turn back on until 7 a.m. So all night long, I can't go on my social media apps, which I mean, I could click on them and it will like prompt me and I could be like, no, like ignore the set limit, but I'm not going to do that. And I have honestly found it helps so much. I don't get as much like sadness and anxiety at night as I used to, because I'm not like scrolling through the internet looking at other people's lives all day, every day, all night, right before I go to bed, and it has helped me so much. So unfollow those people that just aren't making you feel good about your life, and set limits on looking at just social media in general, because it's not good for you. It's really not good for you, and I'm finding it helps me so much since I unfollowed like 600 people and started setting limits on my phone. Number 6, if you have the time and the means, freshly grind your coffee. It tastes so good. When Caleb was home during quarantine, honestly, quarantine was like, I don't necessarily like to use this word, but it was a legitimate blessing to our family, because like I said, Archer was only like 2 or 3 months old. So Caleb actually stayed home for the first 6 weeks, I think, of his life, went back to work, was at work for maybe a month and a half or 2 months, and then got to come home again for another 2 to 3 months. So he got to like be a part of the beginning of Archer's life far more than normal dads get to. So it was so nice. And along with that, he was always home, so we would alternate getting up in the morning, and we had far more time to do things with both of us home all the time. So we had the luxury of buying whole coffee beans and grinding them freshly and making our coffee like that every morning, and it tastes so good. And I think it's a big reason why I look forward to my coffee every morning. So I know that might seem like a silly little thing, but if you have the means and the time, freshly grind your coffee, because it's so good and it's such like a small luxury that is, makes me so happy. Number 7, the days are long but the months are short. Archer's turning 1 next week. If you guys have been following me since I was pregnant, I have no idea how it's been a year, and man, did I learn to savor those moments. A whole year. I seriously cannot believe it. So like every day when I start to feel if there's frustration or there's anger or like there's something small that's bugging me, I don't let it anymore, because I'm like, okay, he won't take a nap, so what? That's just more time I get to spend with him before he's grown and I don't get to see him all the time, and he doesn't fall asleep in my arms, and he doesn't snuggle me and cuddle me. And I just learned so much in the first year of his life how freaking fast time flies. And sometimes I'm just waiting for Caleb to get home. The day feels so long, and then all of a sudden he's in bed and I miss him. So Archer's in bed and I miss him. So yeah, just remembering that every day might feel long, but before you know it, he's gonna be going off to college, or maybe not college, just going off to live his own life, and I'm gonna miss these days. So definitely have learned to savor every moment, the good and the bad. Just so grateful to just be a mom and have my little boy. Number 8 is The Power of Now. So that is actually the only book that I read the entire year of 2020, but it changed my freaking life. And to summarize, I mean, I went through the whole book and I highlighted so many things, but to summarize is just all you have is now. You don't have the past, you don't have the future. Those things are gone. Literally, you're just in the now. You are constantly living in the now. I'm sorry, the sun isn't in such an unfortunate position right now, but I'm gonna try to keep going. Essentially what I'm trying to say is the future and the past can only affect your life as much as you let it, and being able to let go and truly live in the now and only not think about the past and don't let it control you. Don't only live for the future. Just realize that now is all you have, and to savor the now and find happiness in the now. And yeah, I feel like I could go on about this book forever. I might actually make an entire video about everything I learned in this book. But just the power of now, the power of living in the now, the power of not letting the past and the future control your life, and just accepting things for what they are is just like the biggest lesson that I learned this year. Along with what I learned in that book for number 9 is you are not your mind. Your mind does not control you. Your thoughts don't control you, and being able to gain control over your thoughts can be really, really hard, but can be really, really powerful. I have struggled with a lot of anxiety and questionable depression in my life, and being able to recognize that my mind is not me, and being able to untether myself from negative thoughts and separate myself and kind of look at them from an outside perspective and not think like your mind is really negative. It's really out to get you majority of the time. So seeing that and seeing that you don't have to let that control your life and bring you down, and figure out a way to just kind of be an outside observer of your thoughts and kind of learn from them and see like, why am I having those thoughts? What are these doing for me? What can I learn from this? And being able to move on, live in the now, and not let your negative thoughts about the past and the future control you. Number 10, like you're not your mind, you're not your body either. I learned a lot in 2020. If you guys have been watching my channel for a little while, about body confidence and just body in general, I can link the video down below. I made a video about how I needed to gain weight. I lost a significant amount of weight in 2020 after having Archer, and it was a bit of a scary moment for me. And I feel so much better now, and I am so much more confident and so much happier, and really like feel very confident in my workout routine, my eating routine, my just everything. I just feel like I've been able to shift my mindset so much, and that's not to say it's perfect and easy every day, but the changes that I've made have been incredible, and that goes along with learning that I'm not my body. What you look like is not that important, and a lot of the time you also don't see what you truly look like. I was down to 115 pounds at 6 feet tall, and I didn't even see it. So recognizing that you are not your body, and focusing on health and not appearance, and not wanting to look like everybody else looks in comparison, and all of that is just like, I'm so grateful that I'm at the point that I'm at now. Number 11, exercise because it feels good, and find one that you love. Don't feel like you have to run because other people are running. Don't feel like you have to do yoga because other people are doing yoga. And don't exercise because you're punishing yourself for eating, or for, I don't know, do it for whatever reason. Don't use exercise as a punishment. Use it to feel good and find one that you love. I love doing strength training and high intensity training at home. That makes me so happy. I enjoy it. It's quick. I do it during Archer's naps. It makes me feel good. I break a sweat. It's changing my body. I feel stronger, and I love it. If you love Pilates, if you love yoga, if you love running, if you love CrossFit, it doesn't matter. Just find something that you love. Don't feel like you have to exercise. Find a way that you want to exercise, that you enjoy, moving your body, getting your heart rate up, being healthier and stronger, and not using it as punishment, because that can totally change your mindset, totally change the game. I used to exercise 100% to lose weight and to punish myself for eating, and now I exercise because I want to get stronger, and I want to build muscle, and I want to feel good, and I want to be healthy, and I notice it, and I love it, and I enjoy it. Number 12 is you have absolutely no idea what anyone else is going through. And I think the easiest way to learn this is to be going through something, because I've shared on my social media and my Instagram that I was dealing with some stuff during 2020, and a lot of people made a lot of assumptions about what that something was, and nobody was correct. A lot of people assumed that it was a miscarriage, or that I lost somebody to COVID or something like that, and people just kept making assumptions about what I was going through. And regardless of what I'm going through, you have no idea. Some people don't even tell people that they're going through something, and if you're rude to that person, if somebody's rude to you, it's probably for a reason. So just know that you have no idea what other people are going through. You have no idea what is going on in other people's lives, and just treat everybody like you want to be treated. Treat everyone with kindness and love, because life's too short to do any different, and you have no idea what kind of hard stuff people are going through. Number 13, things will not fill the void. I have been a big time shopper in my life. I just love, I'm very minimalist in my things, but I love to buy things. So I frequently buy new stuff and get rid of my stuff, and I've just like always expected that it would make me happier, and it didn't. That's not like finding happiness in the little things, is ordering new stuff, because it just makes you happy when you get it in the mail and then you're just looking for something new. So I definitely learned in 2020, especially with finances and just the craziness that money has been since the pandemic, that shopping and buying things will not fill a void. It will not make you happier, and save your money for something fun, for experiences, for a house, for your child's future. Like, buying little things can be fun, but it's not gonna, money can't buy you happiness, is really where I'm getting at. Number 14, self-help or relationship help does not mean there's something wrong with you. I felt like for a long time, if you ever thought about going to therapy for yourself, thought about couples therapy, thought about reading self-help books or listening to podcasts, that it meant that there was something wrong. But putting work into yourself and your relationship, there's nothing wrong with that. There's something really, really amazing about that. So Kelvin and I have been listening to a lot of podcasts, reading a lot of books. Well, I should say listening to a lot of books, reading a lot of articles, having a lot of discussions for ourselves, for our own self-help and for our relationship help, and putting the work and the effort into our relationship and into ourselves has done nothing but make us stronger and better. So I feel like the negative connotation that goes along with therapy and self-help makes me, it's like terrible, and I used to have it too, but recognizing that like seeking out help or putting in effort doesn't mean that there's something wrong. It just means that the good can get better. So definitely recognizing that and putting in the effort to help yourself in your relationship is something I learned a lot in 2020. Lesson number 15, eating unhealthy can be healthy. I have always been super strict about snacking and treats and making things sugar-free and low carb and whatever. And I have learned how healthy it can be to just eat a bunch of cookies or eat some chips or whatever, and just having that balance and that mindset of like, oh, it's not gonna kill me to eat a few treats, or I don't have to exercise a bunch because I had something sweet last night. And finding that healthy balance of eating some unhealthy things sometimes and majority getting my nutrients in has been super, super helpful. Obviously, shouldn't eat unhealthy all the time, that's not healthy, but being balanced and open enough to eat like sweets and treats and snacks and whatever sometimes, and not feeling like you need to punish yourself, is healthy. It's a healthy thing to do. Along with that, number 16, plan your dinners weekly. Kelvin and I have started every Sunday. Today's actually Sunday that I'm filming this. We planned out all of our dinners for next week. We get all of our groceries over the weekend, and then I don't have to wait for him to come home and figure out what we're gonna make for dinner, because by that time we're both just lazy, and then we either order food or we make like bagels or something. So on Sundays we plan out every single night what we're gonna eat for dinner, so there's no question about it, and then either I can prep it during the day while he's at work, or at least we know what we're gonna make, so when he gets home he can make it. And it has been a game changer. Like, I cannot believe how much stress it has taken away not having to decide that day what we're gonna eat for dinner, because it's really hard. You have to decide what you're gonna eat for dinner every night for like 80 years. So planning out your dinners weekly and meal prepping if you can, major lesson learned. It's been amazing. Number 17 is to do that thing you always wanted to do, like dyeing your hair pink. I have always wanted to dye my hair pink, and I've been so nervous because I was scared I wouldn't like it. So then I got like a temporary spray and I loved it, and then this is the like overtone conditioner, which will also rinse out. But don't be afraid to just do that thing you want to do, because life's too short. So just do it. Just do that thing that you've always wanted to do. 18 is journaling doesn't work for everybody. I have always wanted to journal and always talked about wanting to journal, always made it a New Year's resolution to journal more, and in 2020 I journaled more, and I learned that it is not for me. I have a tendency to journal myself into a bad mood. When I write, I tend to just like go down a rabbit hole, and I'm not good at writing down gratitude. I'm good at just like feeling it and thinking it and telling someone about it in person, but I find that when I write, I'm just a very negative writer. I get in a very negative headspace, and it just isn't good for me. So learning that a lot of things that might work for other people don't always work for you, and journaling just doesn't work for me. It isn't a good release for me. It's just kind of a way for my mind to create more and more negativity for myself. So I learned the lesson that maybe journaling just isn't for me, and that's okay, and I can find other ways to outlet my emotions. Number 19 is you're never truly ready for anything. I feel like a lot of people wait until they're ready in life to move or to go to school or to have kids or whatever, and you're just never ready. I had no idea what to expect when I had Archer last year, and I just figured it out. You just figure it out. You just do it. You do what you gotta do, and it's so freaking fun, and I feel like I'm a really good mom, and I really enjoy it. And Caleb's an amazing dad. He definitely didn't feel ready to be a dad, and like we have this conversation all the time that like you're never ready to be a parent, but you just figure it out, and it's just so fun and so rewarding and like the most amazing love ever. So you're never truly ready for anything, but just do it and you'll figure it out. And finally, number 20 is to make people aware of your needs, because nobody can read your mind. Caleb and I at the start of the new year decided to make a list of things that we expected from each other and things we expected from ourselves in our relationship, to just put it out there of like, these are my needs, these are what I expect from you. And I think doing that with anyone, in a parent-child relationship, in a friendship, in a relationship, in a like coworker relationship, anything, making people aware of your needs is so important. And I think so many people are too afraid or too scared, or it just seems uncomfortable to tell people like, hey, this is what I need from you. I need you to text me in the morning and tell me that you love me. I need you to give me a back massage every once in a while. I need you to cook dinner, help me with the baby. I need you to do this. You need to tell people what you need and what you want, or because they can't read your mind and maybe they don't know. And then you'll harbor that like resentment and anger because you're not getting what you need and want from somebody because they don't know that you need and want it. So being comfortable telling people what you need and want from them, and having those open conversations about just making people aware of your needs so they can be met is a major lesson that I learned, and has helped me in so many areas of my life, with my parents, with my friends, with my husband. It's just like really, really important, and that's why I saved it for last. Just make people aware of your needs, because if everybody just tells everybody what they need and what they want, then we don't have to like harbor those negative emotions. So that's it. Those are 20 lessons that I learned in 2020. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Let me know in the comments some of the lessons that you learned or what you're going to take away from this video. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!